What if I told you that right now, tens of thousands of developers are paying up to $200 every single month for an AI tool, and there is a completely free alternative sitting right there that does the exact same job? And what if I told you this story is actually about something much bigger than one coding tool? It is about who gets to control the AI revolution and whether that control belongs to billion-dollar corporations or to the open source community that built the internet as we know it. Stay until the end, because I have a free gift for every one of you who watches all the way through. Welcome to Brian's AI News. I am Brian. Today, we are digging into a story that every developer, every tech worker, and honestly, every person who cares about the future of AI needs to understand. A pricing rebellion is breaking out in the AI coding world, and it could reshape how the entire industry operates. Let's get into it. Here is the full story. Anthropic, the AI safety company behind the Claude family of AI models, has a product called Claude Code. Now, if you have not heard of it, Claude Code is what is called an agentic AI coding tool. That just means it is an AI that does not just suggest code for you to copy and paste. It actually acts like an autonomous agent. It can write entire programs from scratch, debug complex errors, navigate your file system, run commands in your terminal, and even deploy finished software, all on its own. You describe what you want, and it goes and builds it. Developers have gone absolutely wild for it. The reviews are glowing. The productivity gains people are reporting are real and significant. Some developers say it has cut their workload in half. Others say it is like having a junior developer who never sleeps and never complains. But here is the problem. The pricing structure is raising serious eyebrows. Claude Code starts at $20 a month. That sounds reasonable until you actually start using it heavily, at which point your bill can climb to $200 a month or more. For individual developers, freelancers, students, and people in countries where $200 represents a significant chunk of a monthly salary, that price is simply out of reach. And that is where Goose comes in. Goose is an open-source AI coding agent built by Block, which is the fintech company founded and run by Jack Dorsey, the co-founder of Twitter. Goose does essentially the same core things Claude Code does. It writes code, fixes bugs, runs terminal commands, and automates complex development tasks, but it runs locally on your own computer. It is completely open source, meaning anyone can look at the code, modify it, and contribute to it, and it costs absolutely nothing. $0. Free. The developer community has noticed, and a growing number of programmers are publicly switching from Claude Code to Goose, or at least seriously questioning whether the premium price of Claude Code is worth it when a free alternative exists. Now let me explain why this is not just a niche developer drama, and why it actually matters to everyone watching this, even if you have never written a single line of code in your life. First, AI coding tools are going to determine who can build things in the future. We are heading toward a world where software is built faster and by fewer people because AI is doing more and more of the heavy lifting. The tools that win this market will decide whether the next generation of apps, businesses, and innovations is built by a small group of people who can afford expensive subscriptions, or whether it is democratized and available to anyone with a laptop and an idea. Second, pricing in AI right now is all over the place. Companies are trying to figure out what people will pay. Claude Code at $200 a month is a test of the market. If developers pay it, Anthropic knows it can hold that price point. If developers rebel and move to free alternatives like Goose, it sends a message to every AI company that overpricing will be punished. Third, this is a direct window into a much larger tension that is going to define the next decade of technology. On one side, you have well-funded AI companies like Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google building polished, powerful, but expensive tools. On the other side, you have the open-source community, which has historically been incredibly good at taking expensive technology and making it free and accessible to everyone. Think of Linux versus Windows. Think of Firefox versus Internet Explorer. The open-source world has a long track record of winning these fights. For everyday people, this pricing war means that the AI tools available to you in 2 or 3 years could be dramatically different, depending on which side wins. Either you are paying monthly subscription fees to several AI companies for every task you want to automate, or you are downloading free locally run tools that do the same work at no cost. To really understand this story, you need a bit of context about how we got here. AI coding assistants have been around in basic form since GitHub Copilot launched in 2021. Copilot was the first mainstream tool that could suggest lines of code as you typed, like autocomplete, but dramatically more powerful. It costs $10 a month and became extremely popular. But the field has evolved enormously since then. The new generation of tools, the agentic ones like Claude Code, are not just autocomplete on steroids. They are genuinely autonomous. They can take a vague instruction like, build me a web scraper that collects product prices from these 5 websites and saves the results to a spreadsheet, and just go do it. That is a qualitative leap, not just a quantitative one. Anthropic built Claude Code on top of its Claude models, which are widely considered among the best in the world for coding tasks. Multiple independent benchmarks have placed Claude near the top for code generation, which is a big reason developers are willing to pay a premium for it. Goose, meanwhile, is part of a broader wave of open-source AI agent projects that have exploded in 2025 and into 2026. The key insight behind Goose and tools like it is that the underlying AI models themselves are increasingly accessible. You can connect an open-source agent framework to powerful models, including some open-source models, and get results that are very competitive with the expensive proprietary tools. Block, the company behind Goose, has a strong incentive to support open-source AI tooling. Jack Dorsey has been vocal about his belief that foundational technology should be open and decentralized, which aligns with his broader philosophy and his work on open protocols in social media. Experts in the developer tools space are watching this situation very closely. The consensus view seems to be that the market for AI coding tools is going to bifurcate. You will have a premium tier for enterprise customers, large companies, and developers who need the absolute best performance and are willing to pay for it. And you will have a free or near-free tier driven by open-source alternatives that captures the individual developer market, students, hobbyists, and people in emerging markets. Some analysts point out that Anthropic's real business has always been the enterprise market anyway. Claude Code at the individual consumer level might almost be more about brand visibility and adoption than about revenue. The real money comes from companies paying for API access at scale. Others in the open source community argue that tools like Goose are actually better in one important respect: privacy. When you run an AI agent locally on your own machine, your code never leaves your computer. For developers working on proprietary software or sensitive projects, that is a genuinely significant advantage over cloud-based tools that process your code on a company's servers. The counterargument from the Claude Code camp is that Anthropic's models are simply better at coding tasks, and that premium performance justifies premium pricing for developers whose time is their most valuable asset. So where does this go from here? A few things seem very likely. First, we are going to see more open-source AI coding agents emerge over the next 12 months. The trend is accelerating, not slowing down. Every week there are new projects on GitHub trying to replicate and improve on what tools like Claude Code do. Second, expect pricing pressure to force Anthropic and competitors to rethink their consumer-facing pricing. If the rebellion grows loud enough, we could see Anthropic introduce a more generous free tier or lower the ceiling on what heavy usage costs. Third, the quality gap between open source and proprietary tools is closing fast. A year ago, the difference between a free AI coding tool and a paid one was enormous. Today, it is smaller. In a year from now, it may be negligible for most use cases. And fourth, this story is a preview of fights we are going to see across every category of AI tool. Writing assistants, image generators, video tools, data analysis platforms. Every time a company tries to charge a lot for AI capabilities, the open source community is going to show up with a free alternative. That dynamic is going to be one of the most important forces shaping how AI gets adopted over the next several years. As promised, your free gift. I put together a complete PDF report of everything we covered today, key facts, expert analysis, and what to watch next. It It is completely free. We are building a growing AI news community on Discord where like-minded people share insights, help each other, and stay ahead of every major AI development. Join the link in the description, grab your free PDF, and I will see you in the next one. Do not forget to subscribe to Brian's AI News so you never miss a story that matters.